What's going on, everyone? I've decided to take some time out of my day to dive deeper into the recent footage we received of Kingdom Hearts Fragmentary Passage and back cover. If you haven't seen the footage yet, well, I'm afraid you're living under a rock, because it's been everywhere all over the internet. So I guess if you haven't been on the internet, which is living under a rock. Now I am going to speculate and theorize on some aspects in this footage, so bear in mind of spoilers for those of you who haven't played Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, Dream Drop Distance, or at least watched a playthrough of Key. But if you haven't played at least Birth by Sleep or Dream Drop Distance, why are you even here? We are greeted with a new scene that shows Yen Sid explaining the importance of grouping together 7 Guardians of Light to face the inevitable battle between Xehanort and his 13 Seekers of Darkness, as well as protecting the 7 Princesses of Heart. This and the whole plot of Kingdom Hearts 3 makes me curious whether or not each Princess of Heart is going to appear in Kingdom Hearts 3 either as just characters like in Kingdom Hearts 1, or have some or most of them have returning worlds, just of course a new variant of that world. There are many other minor details we could point out in this first scene we receive. Things like Kingdom Shader books and bookshelves, Yen Sid's history book on his table, even a first look at Riku, Kairi, and Mickey in the Kingdom Shader. But there's one thing that standed out to me. This staff was never there on display. Now, if you look at the past version of Yen Sid's Overwatch room in the tower, that staff was never there, and to me it seemed oddly reminiscent of Maleficent's staff, except hers has a green jewel and it doesn't have these prongs holding the jewel in place. I then thought it could be one of Donald's staffs, but the only one that looked similar to it was the Fantasista staff used by Donald in Kingdom Hearts 1. And that obviously doesn't look the same, but only time will tell if this staff actually has any sort of meaning. Yen Sid here talks of saving Ven, Terra, and Aqua from their suffering. With my past knowledge of some commonly used Kingdom Hearts dialogue in Japanese, Yen Sid in Japanese says Shikari, which usually means light. So I feel like there's a slight misinterpretation to the translation. And of course I'm only saying that because in the subtitled text there's nothing in there that has to do with light. With Yen Sid's approval, Mickey now reveals that he once knew Aqua to both Riku and Kairi, but he explains that it was in the realm of darkness that he met her. Needless to say, there are many things that we can take out of this. I can almost assume that my theory is right when he meets Aqua in the realm of darkness is during Kingdom Hearts 1. Not only that, but many other things. It seems that Aqua is not actually looking over her shoulder in the scene that we get for Fragmentary Passage, which is what I originally thought, but she's actually looking down. This must mean that she's either walking with Mickey and she looks down as they start to conversate, or she is just now acknowledging Mickey's presence and she looks down at him. What's more is there's still the question of if he was there and got out, why didn't she? I feel that throughout a Fragmentary Passage we will learn what happened as to why Mickey must have left Aqua behind. It's just a wonder if it was on purpose he left her, or something happens as they're close to getting her out, if that is even the reason he's there. And I think the foretellers might have some sort of connection to Aqua exploring the Castle of Dreams in the Realm of Darkness. There's now even more speculation that whatever happens in the Realm of Darkness with Mickey being there with Aqua but returning without her, he acquires the Kingdom Key D through unknown measures that he meets in the Realm of Darkness, possibly being the decision of whether to leave her behind or not. I theorize that he left her behind because in a recent interview with Nomura, there was a question where the interviewer asks why Mickey refrained from discussing a matter as important as one of the people who suffers. Could it be because he's ashamed that he had no choice but to deal more suffering to Aqua by leaving her in the realm of darkness? We'll find that out when we actually play the game. That was Nomura's answer. So that's basically all there is to Kingdom Hearts 0.2, A Fragmentary Passage. All we got really was 1 or 2 new cutscenes, and we got to see Kairi, Riku, and Mickey, as well as Yensid in the Kingdom Shader. However, we still did not get to see Aqua's face, which sort of upsets me. Now let's move on to Kingdom Hearts Key back cover. Now here we get a new look and perspective of what's inside the infamous clock tower inside of Kingdom Hearts Key. This is where it seems the foretellers usually gather to discuss matters, but not just for all of them. I feel there's a strong possibility that sometimes throughout the back cover cinematic, it could also just be 2 or 3 foretellers out of the 5, as well as a mysterious 6th apprentice to discuss or maybe even devise plans or something of the sort. All I'm saying really is that this could be the regular place that they usually meet, the same way there was the throne room inside of Organization's 13th Stronghold where they all met. There's many nice aspects to this room, like the multiple number of books, the famous windows, the clock gears, and even the desk that could possibly belong to one of the foretellers or even the Master of Masters. And also, for all we know, that could be the Book of Prophecies on the desk, and it could possibly be opened up to the place in the book where there's a missing page. Then there are samples of voicings for each foreteller and what they have to say about there being a missing page in the Book of Prophecies. And what I've actually compiled from each of their dialogue is that when they say traitor, it seems like they are implying that it's one of the foretellers among them. But what if they're actually implying traitor as actually the 6th apprentice to the Master of Masters, as if when they speak of him they just refer to the word as traitor because of what he possibly did to the Master of Masters? I say that because in Kingdom Hearts Key there's never a sign of this Master of Masters, so I want to say he is no longer. Could that be because of this traitor? Not only that, but also a traitor to light. Because it's very clear from a famous dream inside of Kingdom Hearts Key, there's a hooded figure that appears before the foretellers. Could that be the traitor apprentice who turned to darkness? What I'm saying here is that what these foretellers are saying in the dialogue we receive, maybe they are well aware of who is in possession of the missing page, being the traitor. Next, we hear foreteller Unicornus saying to keep focused and trust no one. But the way he says it, it makes me believe he's speaking to one or maybe 2 foretellers in specific. In reference to a popular theory going around where a few of our main characters are reincarnations of foretellers because of the similar clothing color lines, I want to maybe guess who this foreteller is actually talking to. The supposed reincarnation goes as follows: Anguirus being reincarnated in Aqua, Leopardos being reincarnated in Ventus, Unicornus being reincarnated in Riku, Ursus being reincarnated in Terra, and Vulpes being reincarnated into Kairi. That being said, maybe foreteller Unicornus is talking to Vulpes because Riku and Kairi have a strong connection, but possibly also Ursus being Terra because Terra formed a connection with Riku when he passed the Keyblade down to him. Another minor detail I wanted to point out, during the voicing of the foretellers, the voice for Leopardos sounded strangely familiar. There is speculation that it's the voice actor for either Sora or actually Sasuke from Naruto Shippuden. But just to make it clear, I obviously meant the Japanese voice actors. And the last scene gives another perspective of the clock tower room. There's one more aspect to this scene that I'd just like to point out, being while we pan across the room, we actually see vials of some sort holding something that's glowing. This is reminiscent of 2 things. The first being these vials that hold hearts, or what could be data of hearts, within Ansem study in Kingdom Hearts 2. Not only that, but it's also somewhat similar to the vials that held Chirithy birthings inside of Kingdom Hearts Key. Aside from all that, we just get a fairly nice example of how nice the reflection textures are of the Kingdom shader on these floor tiles, with the reflection of light coming through the windows, which are very smooth and nice. I guess that's just like a little addition to how good it is going to look on the Unreal 4 engine. So that's all there is to that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video where I did a lot of speculation on the new footage we got of a fragmentary passage. If you guys like this video, you might like these, where one of them I discussed the possibility of DLC inside of Kingdom Hearts 3, or you can see this video of my reaction of this new footage that we got. Don't forget to like up the video and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.